Hello, this is a weird video to film. I've filmed two videos that you have not seen. That's never happened before. I've never not been happy with two things in a row. This is due to a phenomenon called Autistic Burnout, and we're going to discuss that today. Now, first of all, I suppose we ought to do that. What is Autistic Burnout? It's where all of the skills that you have, the coping mechanisms that you've built up over the years, stuff like that, just basically goes out the window for a bit. It's caused by when an autistic brain enters a state of really overwhelmedness over a period of time. So because of course a short burst of overwhelmedness, what is the word? When the brain's overwhelmed for a bit, that's when meltdowns or shutdowns occurred. I think a burnout is caused by a lot of exposure to overwhelming things. Before we go into kind of how I'm feeling now, the last time I experienced this was when I was working in that office job that I used to work in 9 to 5. That's what caused me to completely go to poo, basically. I suppose it must be some defense mechanism of the brain going, you need to chill. You need to take it a lot more easy because you are constantly exposing yourself to things that are overwhelming. And I think at the moment, it's all car crash related. The car crash that happened, I made the video on. I've really been feeling the effects of it, and I've almost tried to verbalize this in the two videos that I made. The first one was Mental Health Awareness Day. That was a video I published. I didn't publish, sorry. I literally opened my mouth. I wanted to just say exactly how I felt, and I did. I didn't think it was appropriate to upload though, because it was exactly what I was feeling. I didn't have any time to reflect on it, and while I was editing it I was just like, no, this shouldn't go up. And then I filmed a video yesterday, was it? Maybe the day before? I don't know, everything's kind of blurring, about how just a general life update, kind of reiterating some of the points I made in the car crash, but sprucing it up a bit with some things that are going on in my life, all of which will kind of end up in this video anyway, to be fair, so yeah. But the way it's affecting me at the moment is my independence has just receded massively, so much. All these things that I've built up how to do over the last 21 years, I suppose, some of them have really gone far back. Luckily, it's kind of 6 weeks on from the car crash now, and things are starting to slowly come back, but I've definitely been going through some weird things where I've not been able to live my life how I have earned to live it, if you know what I mean. I've worked hard, and these things have been stolen from me. Sometimes if you Google autistic burnout, it will also come up with autistic recession, I believe, which is the same thing. It's because some things recede. I think when we think of burnout, we think of that just means you need to take it easy. No, that's a way of plotting. Look, that's clearly a limit line for you. Don't ever go to that again. Obviously mine couldn't really be helped. But I'm having to thin down everything on my plate at the moment because I'm not able to work as well as I'd like to work. I'm not able to Minecraft. This is a great example. Yesterday was the first time I'd gone on a mission to build something in Minecraft. I just couldn't do it. I was looking at it but how can I translate that? And normally I look at something and it's all plotted out brick by brick. I just go, right, okay, I just need to go and build that now. I can build thousands and thousands of blocks in my head. What's happening to my voice? Well, I was just looking at it, Olympus it was, and no, nothing. It's not very good, the fact that I'm having to thin down on work. This is obviously all things going to the compensation claim of the car crash, because it is a knock-on effect. But I've worked really hard over the last few years to build up a reputation and to build up a stamina of how I can work, and I'm having to slim that down. And when you're in kind of this world, you've got to be consistent. You've got to keep your reputation up, and you can't really afford to do stuff like this. So me doing what I'm doing, and I'll tell you my plan actually. So I'm finishing off everything that I've got, and then all of December I'm not doing any work. And that's like originally it's going to be November and December, but I've got quite a few things leaking in. So maybe kind of halfway through November when I've got everything finished off. But I need time where I can't have anything going, and it's quite lucky that it's December because public appearances wise that kind of disappears in December anyway, so that lines up. But all the stuff that you don't see publicly, like the consultation and stuff like that, I've just had to go now, which is hard. It's hard because especially because I've been financially in the best position I've been in a while. So to slow that down again is like, oh, cool. I've been dealing with overwhelming emotions, like really overwhelming emotions. I've not really understood the after effect of the car crash very well because it's all emotions I've never really felt before. I don't know how to verbalise it properly, but I felt really bad. Like the whole fact, because of this whole recession has been happening, like that's what's made me feel worse. It's the realisation that I'm having to take a step back. I really don't like that. I don't like that because I'm a hard worker. I really like to be able to give my 100%, and I'm not able to give my 100% at the moment. I've also started Open University. I've started my new module, which is Equality, Participation and Inclusion. So it's a module that is really in line with everything that I do, and I'm glad I found one like that, and I might even turn my degree towards being something on that field. But like that's going to require a lot of my attention over the next year. Like luckily I can thin that off over December, but I might just have that as the one thing that I'm up to in December. But for example, I'm used to going to London. Well, I was used to going to London. I was in London basically every other week or whatever, and I haven't been to London in 2 months. And I've got my first trip to London for Comic-Con. We're doing the neurodiversity panel. Don't know who the fourth person is, but me, Kevin Chapman, Dan Jones, as in Aspie World. We're doing the neurodiversity panel on the Sunday at 12:30. Should have mentioned it earlier, but we had to confirm it on behind the scenes. So yeah, if you're about near the XL, come along. But yeah, I've had to book a hotel for the night before, pretty close to the XL, because doing it there and back in one day, I struggled with that before. So never mind doing it now. I've not even been into Nottingham City Centre alone yet. I've been to my town centre alone for 2 hours, but that's about it for independence time. So yeah, I've struggled. I've even struggled staying home alone for more than a few hours. Like today, for instance, I was going to have a massive distraction today. I was meant to have a parcel arrive this morning full of something magical to build. I'll leave that for, you can find it out on Twitter at some point. You probably will have seen it before you've seen this video there. But anyway, I've not got anybody who's able to come to me today, which is quite scary. But yeah, I've give it a few hours and that's it. That's my limit before I start freaking out about something or other. I'm obviously not driving still. I'd really like to be able to drive again. I'm fed up of just being stranded here. That's really been a knock on my independence. Like, I'm still too anxious sitting in the front of the car and seeing things out the windscreen. Like the other night, we drove back from the chip shop. It was a 2-minute drive and 3 cars nearly drove into us. Me and my sister were just basically screaming the entire time. Yeah, I want to be at that point soon, but no. Basically, I should have given myself more time off after the car crash. I shouldn't have been doing things at the intensity I am doing things of, and because I've not allowed myself, but I've given myself quite a lot of recovery time, but clearly not enough. Or I say recovery time, maybe more recovery space, like headspace, because I've constantly got things going on and I don't need that. I need to just be able to switch off from everything, process with what I've got to process. I've got the doctor's appointment on Saturday, the post-car crash doctor's appointment, where, I don't know, maybe they'll put me in counselling, although I don't think I do need counselling. I think I just need to be able to work everything out for myself. But we'll see. Maybe I'll get forced into it. I've burnt my brain out, and how can we avoid autistic burnout? Well, first of all, don't get yourself in car crashes. Seriously though, there's a pattern. There really is a pattern, and I should have picked up on the pattern, but I didn't. And I'm going to start logging this. Basically, what I've realised, the more frequent meltdowns or shutdowns become, that's when burnout is more likely to happen. So, say before, I would probably have 1 meltdown every 3 weeks, probably. That was about the average I was on. Then after the car crash, they were pretty much multiple times a day. So I was essentially in some constant state, and that was for the first week, 2 weeks. And then, you know, they started slowing down, but they were still a lot more frequent than once every 3 weeks. That should have been the sign for, you're very overwhelmed, slow down. But it wasn't. The week after Ireland was particularly bad. I think a lot of what was happening was I was kind of pushing everything away just to get through Ireland. I don't think there's much more else I can say on that. I've given you kind of some of the facts of it. There's not really many facts to it. And then I've given you my personal experience of it. I'd very much love to hear your own personal experiences of burnout. Maybe you have some tips to try and avoid it. Maybe you have some tips to get out of it, because, well, the only tip I have is to slow everything down, but I'm not able to slow everything quite down at the moment, so oops. I'm going to enjoy editing this video. Let's make it fun for myself. Let's make myself challenge. I've been creatively stunted. I've actually filmed this video in 1080p as opposed to 4K because I've filmed the last few videos in 4K, but my Mac's not really been able to handle it, so I'll film in 4K when I upgrade. But like, let's throw something in fun for me to do. In fact, we'll do this for the thumbnail. What does autistic burnout feel like? I feel like Hades. I hope that works. I hope that didn't look too stupid. If it did look too stupid, oh dear. I've just had to take some time. So what you've just missed there, I had to run out because the doorbell started ringing, and that really confused me because of course I'm expecting a delivery at 4, but this isn't 4 o'clock. And normally any of the doorbells, like my mum would get, because my mum would be here, or someone else, but I went down and it was an energy man who wanted to come in and read meters, even though I didn't know whether, like, yeah. Yeah, so, and basically that just really freaked me out, so thank you very much for watching. I need to go and deal with that. I need to let out some I'm holding it together. I think it's because I'm filming still, so this is gonna be fun as soon as the camera stops. But yeah, leave me a comment, all that stuff. Thanks for watching, bye.